It looks shady. It
Oh,
looks
it really
sketchy.
looks shaky.
Yeah, it looks sketchy.
Damn. Facebook looking like that
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, it's super. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know,
What do you
man.
think? It didn't look like that last time, though.
That might have helped with not having YouTube. I feel like Facebook looked fine until YouTube happened. You know what I'm saying? Both of them look kind of shitty, man. To be honest, like
They never look like that.
like one, my hand's moving like 20 times
I mean, you
slower.
want to check it out on
Oh,
the
that's
phone
slower.
and see what it looks like?
Yeah,
I mean, we can always restart it now.
Yeah, let's pull it up. I wonder if like one would look better with just like with just one running or something. Because I know streaming two of them like this is pretty tough. You know, that's
Well,
definitely
we've done it 1,000 times.
we've done it 1,000 times.
We always do this.
We've done it
When
1,000
something
times.
goes wrong.
I got
this.
well,
it's successful so many times.
I mean, like that. Yeah, see, it looks just like that. Yeah,
Chunky?
yeah, it looks just like that. I mean, we hear sound pretty good, but like it's pretty just like shaky.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me try to get some movement.
Look. Yeah, look, watch it. You can tell it's pretty sketchy. See, it's already. I think it don't look that bad though.
I feel like that's. Am I tripping?
It definitely be hitting.
Let me try to do. How am I like? Is that crazy?
Weaving. Yeah, I think it's definitely. Yeah, see, look, you see, because definitely the shake, you know. I really don't think it's ultimately that bad, you know. That's the one problem is that, like, you know, I want to know how to tackle that. You know, I'm not sure where I would look to then start trying to mess with those issues.
Yeah, but like we said before, like it's like we gotta research it. You know, we have to look for it.
I mean, like that's the thing. I only have like what I already know to base knowledge off. So like I think about like you know like with like the internet, you know, you get like a certain amount of megabytes per second, and with uploading and streaming, it uses way more than like downloading. You know, and really getting something to download, pull off the internet. You know,
this little span of these next couple of months, like now's the time to learn this shit. So when we do get whatever we get, you know, we get ready to go.
I'll always assume hardware. You know, that's usually what I go to. I mean, that's the stuff that just runs your computer. So like, that's just one of the first things I go to when it comes to things like that.
It's easier, like when you already have the problem, and then you can like solve the problem.
Like software, like there's not much I can do about like coding that could help fix like maybe like an internet issue or something, or something that is resulting from yeah. I mean, like because the camera like that moves like at a certain speed.
The camera's trapped.
Yeah, I mean, it captures a certain amount of frames per second, but
the worst thing we got.
But it's never looked like that, you know. I mean, I think that's typically like something usually from like internet speeds or something, or data flow. Yeah, data flow usually. Usually when you see like that, when you see something like that, it's usually always like data flow, and just its ability to put it up on the internet, travel, and then come on to us as a clean video.
Some of it. Well, you know what? Here we are.
Yeah. You ever seen those things where you can test? You can actually run a program through your computer here that shows it'll send an internet connection out, it'll send a signal out, and it'll ping all the servers you hit, and then come back. It'll show you pretty much where they hit and how fast they get there before they come back to there.
It's crazy.
It's super cool, bro. Yeah,
it's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's scary.
Yeah. It's weird.
Know.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah, I mean,
that shit just come to your crib.
The world of computers is absolutely insane. I mean, like that. The things that we've done with computers. I mean, as far as like we are now getting to the point where we're making like chips and circuits like so small. Like we're getting to the point where we are limited because electrons can't be any smaller and can't travel through anything smaller. Like that's the type of shit we're on. We were talking. I think the software for the space program in like the 60s. This is a famous one. Was like I'm not sure the exact measurement, but pretty much it required storage the size of this room to fit the data in. Now you can put that same data on a chip in your phone, and it will just sit in there and have no fucking problem. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, I mean, just having the home console PC, and then you're getting into stuff now where you have an Alexa in your house, smart home devices. You're talking is voice activated, and that's connected, and then you order stuff through shit like that. We're getting smart. We're going Marty McFly. We're going, Back to the Future type style. Like, it really is insane. And people, like, we are so used to it now, but like, it is absolutely crazy what we do with the stuff that we have already here.
Every time Alexa does something for me, I'm impressed. Just Alexa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Alexa, Siri.
Yeah.
Every time Siri plays a song, I'm just like,
wow. The one thing that's always been tough for me is audio signals and like a microphone. and then that gets turned into electrical waves, which then can be read and interpreted by something that played back to you. It's just so crazy. The audio just goes on a fucking wire, bro. Like it's just the strangest thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound too high, but it saves it. Like that's what blows my mind. Like it's the fact that like somehow that's able to transfer to something that will save it.
Yeah,
I could see like you speak into anything, and then I could even see like when you're a kid, you've even got them ones that like make your voice go louder. Like we were able to do things like that, but to think like that it's able to get into here and then saved. It's like, what did you even save? You save like the audio that was in time at that point, right? Because like it's everything that's going on. It's not just your voice going into that mic, but like did you see that guy who wore those VR goggles for a year?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so a dude wore those Oculus. I don't know if it was Oculus ones or like how it works exactly, but he wore the VR. I think it was actually the Google glasses for a whole year. And everywhere he went, everything he did, and he uploaded it. And they were explaining like how he won't be able to ever, of course, live those days again, but any day in the future, he can load up that game now that mapped out what he did and relive what he did in those days. Yep. So no, it's not the real thing, but that's fucking scary, bro.
Yeah.
So now think about this. You got the guy that does that, right? Like that guy with that mask. He wore Google glasses, remember?
Yeah, he wore.
Then you upload it into this fucking
live.
You go live, right? And now it's like it's out there forever. Somebody still got that mask video.
Yeah, they do. People. Yeah, people downloaded it, saved it, recirculated it. Yeah.
So it's like you're literally saving this moment of time. Then you keep improving on the technology to the point of like, now I can make the wind blow on your face. You know what I mean? Or like you can walk on this thing that moves now.
Yeah, we go as far.
I can't make you feel way anyway.
And that's what
you're gonna have to feel it.
That's what a 4-dimension is. When they have 3D, which is like you can see the pictures coming at you, blah blah blah. Then there's the 4D where they move you around. They blow wind in your face, squirt you with water when there's water around, like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like it could keep going, right? And like especially if like Neuron Link ends up working. Yeah. And then it's like, well, how free are we? Because what if I want to play a game with this Neuron Link where I want to play a Call of Duty game where I can Neuron Link up to the pain factor? You know what I mean? Like now we play with like real stakes. Like who wouldn't watch esports if there was a pain factor connected? Yeah. Now esports is lit, bro. You're talking about people taking real shots and you see these nerds screaming and shit like that. Like, like it's just I'm just thinking about one way it would go. It would make esports pretty wild. Yeah, I mean, we're experimenting with that now. Like they're called like haptic feedback vests. Yeah. And so like you grab things that sends the signal in your hand to where you feel like you're grabbing stuff and like you get hit.
Not gonna have PTSD.
You get hit.
Imagine playing Call of Duty 4.
Either that or like you just get like the ultimate desensitized person ever to like shit like that. You know,
add that in with the porn.
Yeah,
the porn's gonna upgrade. Now you're watching VR porn. You're getting your dick sucked right.
They already have things that you can hook up to your dick.
Have you ever used it?
What?
The VR porn?
No.
I hate when you click on a good video and it's like this.
The VR 2 box fucking porn video.
Where do I get it?
Those things are pretty really available now, bro. You get them for like $300.
Yeah, the Oculus, right?
Yeah,
the regular Oculus.
Yeah, I think Oculus is a little more because there's a Samsung one.
You think it's good though? Like you think
VR?
Like, you think you could bust to that? You think it'll prove you're busting?
I think any bit of additional sensory because I mean, like we all used to jerk off to Victoria's Secret mags, a JCPenney's catalog with the bra section. At least I did. Hey,
you think that's better? Like you think that's better though? I think the porn you want to watch.
I think because you can do that. I mean, you can nut from imagination.
Oh, like
what if any bit of enhancement just makes it better.
Well, the thing is, I can put you in there. I didn't think about this, but obviously, I can put you in there, and the porn not even revolve around you.
Yeah,
like it's just a regular porn, but now you're right there. Mm-hmm. People might want to be in the rooms.
Yeah, and the trick is with the eyes, especially like it's very disorienting. Because, I mean, your eyes are adjusting to that. I mean, it does really feel like you are in a room. You look around, the hearing you have in it is also... So, like, with those videos, you turn like this. Now you get the audio in one ear. As I turn it this way, I hear it in both, and then it goes back this way. So it sounds like.
So imagine we're doing this a trillion nuts later. At this point, we're not even busting outside of a headset or whatever it is, right? Like you've busted so many nuts with that visual serotonin hitting your fucking eyes that you don't even know how to bust in the real world anymore.
Yeah. I mean, we all, like I said, at one point we could all jerk off to our imagination repeatedly, no problem. Eventually, get some porn, and then eventually, as you continue to jerk off, the porn gets wilder and wilder and wilder, and you can still jerk off from imagination, but that's 20 times harder. It's 20 times harder.
It's harder.
Definitely.
I got good imagination.
Definitely.
Good memory. I feel like I could always find somewhere to go. I was just talking about this. Like, what are your averages? What's your average time length without porn and then with porn?
So
in and out.
So I think I'm averaging probably like 30 minutes across the board.
30 minutes with or without?
I think on both sides. Because like when you get, because
you said it was
10,
20 times
what's the thing on with porn? I would just look for the right video. You jerk off. It's not ready yet. You know the right one. With imagination, I feel like I'm going at that. Those couple memories I'm trying that like got me going to begin with. Going out for like 20 minutes because it's just you're sitting there, you're just like thinking about, you're trying to envision it, and it's just like the porn's right in front of you, just looking for the right video. I could have came to the 4 videos ago, but I just wanted to find that right one to bust to. Whereas the imagination, it's like I was really trying to beat it in my head and really like,
let's say when you're jerking off,
manifest this imagination. It's like
you're trying to imagine the memory. So when you jerk it off and you're not using porn, how much are you going to imagination, and how much are you going to memory?
I think that's where it gets tough. Is that I start flip flopping in the middle of it because I'll be sitting there imagining stuff. I'm like, it's not even real. It never even happened. So I go to like a real event. I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, but this ain't getting it. I think of someone else now. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's I definitely flop back and forth. That's probably the issue. That's probably the issue I'm having. Yeah.
You're scrolling in your head.
Yeah. Like I said, I could have came to that first video I watched and clicked on. I could have came on that one, but like for some reason you're just like, okay, well, I don't want to come to that one yet. You're jerking. You're hitting that pleasure button.
You're like, this nut's coming to a face fuck today.
Yeah,
it's not coming to this anal. This anal's great. You did great. Proud of you. Proud of the scene.
Yeah. But
today it's a blowjob type of nut.
Yeah, and like with
sometimes you go in there, you search right away, like. That's what really is going to separate your masturbation is right there in the beginning. Are you searching a fucking video or a sucking video? Or a third category of that question when you get wild.
I personally don't think like self pleasure is like really the issue. I think the big issue is just the pornography. I think if you were just sitting there stroking it, to your memory, and if you did that 5 times a day, what's like more power to you, but. With the porn, it's just so fucking over the top, exaggerated, and like it's like made to like just really get you worked up and going, like, and really like it just takes over your brain system and rewires your shit.
Come to that fake porn now, it's just like so fake. It's so like you're talking about, like it's so overproduced. Like I really don't find any of them porn stars attractive.
This is the beauty of it. Where like like I just mute the whole video. I just fucking make it up in my own head.
But like it's just like every single porn star always has fake tits. They're just like super makeup. Like it's fake as shit. Even the guy is fake as shit. Yeah. Like even when it's like they're trying to make it look passionate, it just all looks paid for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta be an amateur. I'm all amateur. I'm 99% amateur porn.
Yeah, and that's the thing that like
gloss over that. How much? What's your percentage?
Well, of like amateur?
Are you?
It's definitely, yeah. Like it's probably like 20, 80.
2080, okay.
Towards amateur though.
I'm trying to find out who's funding this porn industry like this because
we're
way more willing to pay for the amateurs. Most people I talk to like amateurs.
That's why OnlyFans is blown up because like you may know that woman in real life and you're just like, I can guy fucking nudes. Like,
what if your mom gave you the life you always wanted through OnlyFans? How would you feel?
It is what it is. I'm just not gonna subscribe. Like that. I'll tell you what. That's the other thing is that for the most part, OnlyFans content seems to be kept under wraps. Like, you don't get to recirculate that shit. Like, that shit's usually, it's definitely like,
Bro, I do not agree.
I think it definitely makes it harder for them to take that
I don't
shit.
think you're in the same corners you were once in.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think you're in the corners you were once in, but I'm actually surprised on how easy it is, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. There's nothing that tells them that thing was screenshotted. And if so, they be doing like other shit, bro. There be people really doing.
Oh yeah, you
weird
can easily screen it. Definitely 100%. But
and then you're taking these perverts' fucking word that they're not going to share it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like
you're not supposed to.
Like even,
but they're sharing.
Maybe it's just like celebrities who have it that get better control over it, because I mean, there's a lot of like celebrity OnlyFans that like they cannot repost that shit anywhere. You can probably text it to people and stuff, but like you can't go and get fucking that shit on Reddit. If you want to get a popular OnlyFans, no one's out there leaking that shit. Like, or it's just getting taken down because they're paying for that stuff, type of thing, So, but that shit's not supposed to be posted anywhere. You can probably post it in a chan, but you can't find that shit on Reddit.
I'll take you. I'll take you with. I'll take you to the dark.
I've looked. I've scoured the internet.
Corners of the universe, my son. But once again, that's another thing. People be faking nudes now with CGIs and shit.
Yeah, there was a thing.
You gotta be careful.
There was a thing back in the day.
I mean, who's mad if they put J-Lo's face on a body?
There was a thing back then. So like when Photoshop started like really like become more widely available and people were having access to Photoshop and getting good with it. I mean, there were whole Reddits and chans and stuff dedicated to sharing fake celebrity porn, where they were just making good Photoshop images of fucking naked celebrities.
Oh yeah.
And that industry was flourishing for a long time. Now we're getting to the CGI. I mean, they even have this thing that people did called like X-ray. So people could find clothing that was mostly coverable, but like if it was see-through enough, they would do some Photoshop tricks and just be able to just lighten up enough to where you could see the underlying shit going on. Like what people do to try to get access to some titties, they take a 4-year fucking Photoshop course to do shit like that. Like, it's just absolutely insane what people are really like ready to do. I mean, 2011, they had fucking Emma Watson fake porn, fucking Miley Cyrus fake porns, everything, man. They had whole celebrity sections dedicated to that shit.
I feel like it's a weird spot, bro. But like, okay, say you was good at computers, right? Well, people share nudes. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like rather right, wrong, whatever it is, those nudes are always getting shared.
Yeah.
And say you got someone that can do that. Okay, well, you're saying like, oh, okay, I got the nudes you want basically now, and I can just CGI it. Yeah. And then you really got nudes of like your ex-girlfriend. You know what I mean? And now you trade me real nudes for the CGI nudes. And then I also think about like, bro, I even heard of people getting like their iClouds hacked and shit.
Yeah.
Somebody gets in your
there was a thing for a while where people were upset because at one point the iPhone launched a program that would categorize your photos, and they were able to categorize things like really deep and in depth. So like it was a bunch of crazy shit where like there were some people's news that were then categorized. So it's like people were then worried about Apple reading their photos and stuff, because that's what the program does, is look at photos and group them based off of AI memory and shit, and grouping them together and doing shit like that.
The thing about that is like, who are those nudes gonna go to?
You just never know. It just shows a back door that people can access.
Right. But like the odds of like that happening and you seeing your nudes like on the internet one day, it's pretty low.
Yeah, but once the sense of security is gone, then I mean it's very tough to then get that back.
That's like saying that Apple did it. Like inside job type shit. Well, you can never stop that.
Well, it's an iPhone program,
If something in Apple wants to do anything, it's gonna do it.
And honestly, it was probably just like an AI design oversight where it was too good at doing what it was supposed to do. Who knows? Who knows?
They were getting some people. I forget how they were doing it exactly, bro. But they were getting. I watched this doc. Have you ever seen? Well, on Netflix, they have a documentary called "The Most Hated Man in the World." You ever seen that? No. That's about the guy that started the first revenge porn site.
Mm-hmm.
And goddamn, I forget the point I was bringing up about him. But he was on there, and there was like no laws against it. Basically, that was the main thing. They couldn't arrest him really on anything. And then like he's saying that he's screening it, and I think like initially it wasn't that, and then people started posting that, and he just let it go. And then it got to the point where like people were posting children and shit like that, and he's like, look, I tell them don't post this, but they do post it. I got people that I take it down, I screen what I can, but like basically and that still works to this day for them to basically say that same exact line of things, oh, that's not like I was saying, dude. Oh my God, bro. I mean, so much. There's just so much that's not making sense. But I mean, that's a play that they're still allowed to do. Like so many other plays. Like I don't know, bro. So I'll say yesterday, dude, I seen like a 7-year-old buy a Monster. Like a 7-year-old kid, bro, buy a Monster energy drink, and I was just like, wow, man, this is just crazy on how much shit they just get away with it, bro. And we're just like. Normal. Nobody's out here fighting to stop kids from buying energy drinks. Yeah. You've never heard that argument. Yeah. You know what I mean? It doesn't even get made. Yeah. It just goes to slide. And then, like, I was seeing, like, Monster sponsors 13-year-old dirt bike riders. And, like,
dirt bike riders, BMXers, skaters.
Like, this is, like, the most nastiest shit ever. It's just, there's so many things. Obviously, this is tunneling into something else now. But there's so many things like this. Like those stents in the hearts I was talking about, bro. They've shown if you have like a major heart disease, any major heart disease, they did a huge study over decades on thousands of patients that's shown like if you have major heart disease, getting a stent does nothing to improve anything in your life. Not quality of life, not expand, not less likely for heart attack, nothing, bro. Yeah. And they still put them stents in there. It does. And now it has shown to impact way of life in people with like
negatively
agina and things like that. Like I guess it has opened things up and made people feel better, maybe, But as far as like heart disease, it does not work. And they still keep putting them stents in people's hearts, bro.
Yeah.
And now look, they just released that one with the depression medicine.
It seems
that's the first study ever. They're just ignore it, bro. They're just gonna ignore. Everybody's just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems it seems as though with how the public takes it, there has to be one person to kind of like cause a domino effect. So like someone dies, they do their research on stents let's say. And they really feel that they got fucked. Well, then they start being vocal about it. But it takes any one person to be vocal about anything, and any one person is always like, "Oh, why me? Why would I be the voice of that? This, that, the third." But it takes the first initial person is be like, "This is fucked up. Someone died. Someone died," and then once you get that together.
Fines. They just pay a fine.
Well, that's the thing. You have to make a big enough outcry with enough people, and then you hope you stop the procedure from being illegal. That's what. Then how much energy and effort it gets for people to do that is absolutely so insane, absolutely crazy. It's so hard to mobilize people, bro, in mass.
So everybody knows, right? Well, and maybe not everybody doesn't know, but at this point, it's pretty understood that Pfizer paid the largest pharmaceutical fine ever, right? And I just thought that this was like a great little paragraph I read yesterday. I don't think I sent it to you, but I meant to. And it says the U.S. Department of Justice had accused a New York-based pharmaceutical company and its subsidiaries of conducting marketing campaigns to promote drugs, including Geodon, Lyrica, Zevox, and no longer marketed Bextra for uses not approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. The government also alleged that Pfizer gave kickbacks such as cash, travel, and entertainment to members of the healthcare industry in order to persuade them to prescribe these drugs and others, including Lipitor, Zyrtec, and Viagra. The only state which did not join the suit was South Carolina. So while these people paid the largest fine ever for paying doctors to prescribe their drugs, we then let them make a vaccine for us.
Yeah.
When it came time to have a huge contract like a vaccine, They should have been excluded from the fucking list.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they should just right away. No, you've already violated our trust. You don't get these type of contracts. These contracts go to our trusted companies. Now, we don't want to be China. You don't want me to be in there in your fucking factory every day doing how we want it done, right? We're giving you this free will. Now you're violating it over and over and over. And all we do is give you fines that you can pay, and you're still allowed to get the biggest contracts that we have to offer. I mean, it's literally, bro. It's like, is there something I'm missing? I don't know. Why are we just glossing over these things? Something does not make sense, bro.
Sure, the cash kickbacks surely help. I think
the
there was
in Bermuda.
I think the
prescribing you Viagra you don't need.
I think the only one of recent memory I can think of, was with the OxyContin crisis, where they had forced Purdue Pharmaceuticals to shut down.
It's over. Yeah.
But if there's no law in which any of those people that work in there could then not go work for Pfizer, not go work for Lupin,
wherever they want,
not go work for AstraZeneca,
will be the top free agents.
Well, and they'll be the first ones. Exactly. This guy increased profits $5 billion last year,
and that was for oxycodone, bro.
Yeah,
a painkiller, doing the same exact things. Sending them doctors on trips to Cancun, 5-star resorts, allowing your son, your brother, your dad, your grandfather, your mother to go out here and be overprescribed drugs, overprescribing cancer patients. You know what I mean? Taking advantage of the most vulnerable people that we have, elderly, children. Percocet's prescribed for 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Why are we glossing over that? Something is not right here. And like you said, look, they're just go do another thing. Even like
they're not forbidden from working anywhere.
That was a Pfizer and biotech vaccine, bro. Biotech, the same people making faulty fucking hips, putting fucking hips that they know don't work, that scrape metal shavings into people, already knowing, going in it like Volkswagen. You know what I mean? Already know that their shit is fucked up, and now they're paying people. Cover this up for us. And then what happens when they get caught? They're blamed the engineers at Volkswagen, not the owners. Nobody else. And then, God forbid, a CEO does get released. What's he get? A fucking severance package. Oh, here, you can now sell all of your shares. You know what I mean? That you built. Because that's the thing. That's why they commit so much fraud, bro. Because all of their money and their bonuses are performance based. So they're looking at it like, I'll be here for 4 years. I can break the law. I'll break the law. Whatever. They don't care about long term.
They won't go to jail. Well, they know they won't go to jail.
They're not. Either way, bro. Either way, they don't care about none of that because they never find them more than they make.
No.
So for them, they're like, look, I'm not here for 40 years. There's no CEO that's there for 40 years. They move on company to company. They're like, I'm here for 4 years. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make this stock.
I'm retired.
And I'm going to sell this shit. And what do you think, bro? I mean, like, you think, well, a drug dealer knows to bury his money. You think they don't know? That's where they fucking talk about Cayman Islands and things like that, right? Like, we're in Sweden and shit. Like, they put that money away, bro. What's it matter if you did 6 months in federal prison and got fined $10 million if you made $100 million? You come out of jail a millionaire. I don't understand.
You get, and I mean, like, they have special prisons for people like that. You know, like, straight up, you go in a different prison than other people do. There's prisons for straight up wealthy people. That's where you go.
Bro, not only that, but then you get like dream teams. You get to buy your lawyers. You can have 8 fucking lawyers.
Dream blood rotation.
Bro, look. You can pay for it. You can just be, like OJ. You got a dream team of lawyers that you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro, and just buy your way out of things.
And who are interconnected with lawyers that used to work in the government, the judiciary branch, who used to work in the Supreme Court, who used to work in the circuit court. That's where they get them from. The same people. The eventually, I think one of the prerequisites to work at banks or pharmaceutical companies is work in the FDA or to work in the financial regulation industry and then go into the bank.
You gotta be a lobbyist.
Yeah, they're like, look, we need you. You know your way around the government. We need you.
You know what I learned today? This report was saying about, like, with Trump, how important it was for him on most of those lawsuits he had, that they happened in New York. And he was saying, like, they might have came out differently if they came out in other states, but New York, he was such a prime person. It's like, how do you get a juror that don't know about Donald Trump?
Mm-hmm.
And then like these people, they don't know about these inside business tactics. They definitely didn't know about it back then as much as we know now. They're looking at it like, here's this millionaire man, how could he have done this? Like always favoring his side. So they were showing like how much he would try to like, he manipulated it to always be as close to his spot he could be when he's going for these lawsuits.
People know why and where to do these things, and like they know how this shit operates, and they know how easy it is for me to gum this whole thing up.
Bro, I think we just got to start starting companies. I think you're just supposed to keep starting companies. And then if they bankrupt, you just claim bankruptcy and you start another company.
And just keep
I'm
starting
pretty
companies.
sure that's how it goes,
and just
bro.
keep going. Yeah, bankruptcy just seems like a clean slate.
Bankruptcy.
Yeah.
That's and it's just allowed. That's what I was saying. Like, am I crazy? I'm like, what is going on here? Because there's these clear problems that we just will gloss over. Like, why are we allowing them to fuck us like that? I just don't get it. Like,
I mean, I think there's a couple of things I could theorize on, I mean, like, one, and this is the fucked up part is like you talk to people and they're just like, yeah, like I know the government's fucked up. And then they're just like, okay. And then I'm like, well, pharmaceutical companies lie. I'm like, yeah, I know pharmaceutical companies don't lie. Why would you trust them? I'm like, okay, well, the government seems to have gotten too big. Well, yeah, I think the government has too much power. And I mean, it's like, there's a couple of things I think about and think why. And I mean, and it's tough because I can only go based off how I feel internally on things and how things get me going. And I mean, when you think about human history, you're talking about one big long experiment of power and taming people in an evolutionary point of like 5,000.
You want to know? You want to know why they're doing that, but your next door neighbor doesn't. Or you're even here, people, right? You get two types of people. You get people that are like, don't know it, right? And they're like, I don't even focus on things like that. I'm not going to worry about that. And then you got other people, like certain people we've even had here that are like, that's just how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
It's just like, that's the thing. It's so powerful. It's because I don't fault people because it's such a good system. We've done a good job. Not we, but they've done a good job on how to keep people docile and how to keep people under control. I mean, like I said, like we're talking about like one big evolutionary experiment over generations and thousands of years of humans of people overthrowing power, new people coming into power, abusing power, overthrowing 500 years of rule for the same family, overthrowing a power here, there. And I mean, then you still have the British monarchy. He's been around for fucking hundreds of years at this point. So, I mean, I think one, it works really fucking well, and traveling outside, not everyone's capable of traveling outside of that like box. There are people who are more susceptible to things than others, just like anger. Some people are more angry than others. I think some people are just not as self-aware or not as aware. And I'm not even saying like I come from like the pure point of like wokeness or having my eyes open. I've fallen victim to it too before. It's just, I don't know what would get people really fucking fired up, like besides just like straight up in your face violence. People see one person get shot, they're just like, I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm gonna go hit the streets and protest. It's just
here I go again, bro. But I really think it might be psychedelics, Steve. I'm telling
to get the brain going.
I think it might be psychedelics, bro. That's what I'm saying. Why? Okay, so when you live your 24 hours every day, right? You don't really live in this. I don't want to speak for you, but like I think that's how we feel. Is like we know, right, that this is not right. That this is like kind of fake. Right? Like we deep down, we know like you're supposed to be doing other things, but we live in it. But you're still aware throughout the entire day. Obviously, there's real things you're going to have to pay your bill or you're not going to have something. So the shit's real. Yeah. But like, that like something's supposed to be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like, I think a lot of people have gave their 24 hours to this world for so long.
Yeah, that's so good. That's good way to put it.
They try to turn it around. It's like, why would I even look? The same way we feel, right? We're like, why would we buy into that when we've clearly know we've spent so much other time on this other side?
And you have to if you're not talking to someone a lot, you'll just never be able to step outside your own echo chamber. I mean, there are people who can critically think and read and educate, but like there are other people who get stuck in their own world. It's really easy to and don't talk to other people.
Yeah.
Then you also need to have the chance that person meets someone who's then talking and getting that other guy thinking a little bit more. It's like the self-awareness of what you do. It's like like you said. I mean, like you put it in a very good way. You've done it for so long. That I said it before. Where like when you do things throughout the day, like the muscle memory, whether it be good or bad habits, makes it so that you do like you have habits throughout the day. You go to work. It feels weird when you don't go to work because every day at that time you're physically going to work and you're moving your body in those ways to get to work. You take the same route to work every day, so you turn that car the same way. The time may be different, but you turn that car the same way all the time. If it's like when you're moving in that world, it's just so easy to get enveloped in it, and you couple that with, I mean, again, the bad diets, the news cycle, everything. It's so much for people. People are so overwhelmed. It's just too fucking much.
Yeah.
And some people are just like, all right, well, fuck all this shit. I'm gonna just make art. Fuck all this shit. I escape through video games. There's a escape. People escape. They escape. There's escape. There's escape left and right.
One. Yeah,
there's an escape, bro.
Drugs,
people get away
games,
from what this
food, whatever it is.
Some people go home and they can't leave work. They can't leave work from home and home from work. Blah blah blah. There's some people that go home. They're like, okay, I can disconnect from work, but I immediately go into an escape to somewhere where I enjoy. Yeah. And there's no other outside negative pressure. Like I don't.
But like, it's what I'm saying. Inside of all this, though, it's like these people are like, you're not. It's crazy. You're crazy if you do acid hits and self-reflect. But it's standard to get drunk and yell at your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And fight a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something is not making sense, bro. About like that's what man. It really goes. My sister said it so long ago to me. She was like, whatever they want you to have, do the opposite. And whatever they don't want you to have, wonder why they don't want you to have it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly like, why is it that they give you that? And why is it that they tell you this other one is bad, bro? There's clearly a fucking reason.
Yeah.
And
even
that's the only reason I can think about. Maybe that's what'll help people.
And even though like psychedelics have been used throughout all human history, I think the mass use, because
at least they're not ever used.
Yeah. Because throughout history, everyone was always taught like this is sacred. I mean, you didn't just go and cultivate magic mushrooms. You had to go synthesize this potion to make you trip balls. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just like readily available. And I would say majorly within the past 100 years or so is when we really started that psychedelic era kicked off. I mean, it kicked the whole hippie.
Locked it down, bro. Look how quick they
what it did.
Down.
Look at the hippie movement, bro. Look at what it caused.
Bro,
it is so insane.
That didn't last 20 years.
Because they know what they're doing.
They locked that shit
down. They know what they're
so
doing,
quick.
bro.
And now it's one, bro.
Yeah.
Meaning no medicinal benefit.
They've locked that out from generations, bro.
Bro,
the 50s and 60s people, hippie culture.
They had marijuana as a Schedule 1, bro, meaning no medicinal benefit.
As we continue to ease things up on psychedelics, I mean, I hope we're taking the right direction, use it correctly, but I can't trust it to them.
Okay, so finally the government said, I told you, I've said it so many times to you before, bro, they already know you should have that. Yeah. They're going to give it to you. Yeah. It's just when they give it to you. So now they give it to you. Well, do you want the government's mushrooms?
No, you don't, bro. You don't.
The government's acid.
You don't. No, you do not. You do not.
Want your sketchy homeboys acid.
You don't want the same company that grows your tobacco to be growing your mushrooms.
No,
bro. Like that's not what you want at all. That's the same thing. And this is what I think about all the time, like especially with like capitalism. Like what capitalism can do, and what capitalism is good at is fueling the constant need and the fire for innovation to continue to make more fucking money. Yeah. That's one thing that capitalism does so fucking right.
Keep it alive.
Yeah,
I showed you before.
Just the hunger. Just the hunger.
Every city in America operates in the red.
Just the pure hunger.
No city makes
people
any
to
money.
go out. Like
that's what I'm saying. People don't. I feel like people don't. People just don't know these things.
It's to where we magnify the dumbest shit and turn it into a business opportunity. Okay, it's like okay, well, I didn't want to go across the room and hit the light switch. I know I always go out here. Oh, well, now I got a dual pole light switch. I can wire them in series. Boom. I solved that little problem. People wanted to have two light switches in one room to one light. Mm-hmm. I solved that problem. There you go. Little minute problem solved.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm tired of people forming ugly-ass lines. Well, I now made the little velvet rope thing that now that's a fucking thing I can sell. And I'm a millionaire.
Makes so much sense. But like, why does your government allow McDonald's to sell that food.
Yeah.
It doesn't say, hey, if you're an adult, you can eat what you want, like it does with every other drug.
Yeah.
Right. But with the food drug, you can be 1 year old and your parents can give you a Happy Meal. They sell Happy Meals.
Yeah.
That's what they're based around.
Well,
is bringing a kid and a family experience there. And then McDonald's can put one right there. They could put one right there.
Yeah.
They could put one right there.
See, I think when it comes to things like that, they don't give a shit because at the end of the day, these domestic companies that are based in the U.S. that are U.S. companies. Well, overall, they pad my bottom line for my GDP.
Bro.
Yeah, they pad my fucking bottom line.
What
I tax them 20, 30 different ways on there. They still get major tax breaks and I get my cut.
If I cover your entire house in a 360 of bad food options, you can't even see the deer.
No.
You don't even know where the woods are at.
No.
Well, then where would you go to hunt a deer?
And I give you 10 obstacles to get over before you can hunt one deer.
And
before you research where deer are,
90-cent burger.
Before you research where deer are, you have to take this test.
I have deer.
Get your license.
I have deer for you right here.
Get your license.
That's how. As I'm saying, something's not right.
I got deer in my backyard.
Sometimes I want to give in. Who was it, bro? I forget who I was watching. I think it was Louis C.K. but he was having a great point. He was like, I know it's Andrew Schultz, and he was like, he asked the crowd. He was like, who in here doesn't think Michael Jackson touched those kids? And there's a couple people that raised their hand. He's like, I wish I could be as dumb as y'all. He's like, my life would be so much easier if I could just avoid all the facts and turn on the whole King of Pop. He's like, but I can't. I was like, that's how I feel right there. It's like, sometimes I wish I could just be dumb, bro. And I could just not care and not read it. But like I said, I literally tell myself, like, Mike, we're going to read less news. And I still feel like I read 10 times more news than anyone I talk to. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's these clear. I'm not even smart, bro. I'm not even saying I'm smart. I'm just saying I'm clearly reading this shit. Like, I don't think no one knows that these cities operate in a red. I don't think no one knows that your city wouldn't even be able to keep going if it wasn't for federal money. And then people go, "Oh, well, you need to get rid of the Fed." Get rid of the Fed? You would be in a red, bro. There would be this fucking country would go in anarchy without federal stipulations and subsidiaries.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So now you're paying your taxes to go to the Fed, who then subsidize your city in the red. Yeah, to make it livable, bro. This is a hamster wheel.
Yeah, and it goes across the whole board.
Whereas not right.
Companies get by, they write off their taxes, blah blah blah, pay so little taxes. But the reason we don't give a shit is because we tax every single worker they employ. Every single worker they employ, we're taxing a little bit of that. So the more people any one single person employs, I don't care how much your company pays taxes. Every time they buy your product, I get a piece of that sales tax. Every time you pay them, I get a piece of that sales tax. 401k distributions. I tax the people 40 different times before I don't even care about what you have on your reserves. I had a $750 billion military budget, all fueled by taxes, investments, whatever the fucking government does to make its own fucking money. So, like the people, it really comes down. Everything's built off the back. The workforce, everything's built off this back. It just, I know people hurt when they go and work for these companies every day, and and why we continuously en masse go when really, if everyone just wants to stop working, we could just stop, dude. They just cut it.
History, people have revolutionized.
Yeah,
literally, that's literally what history is.
Yeah,
is someone winning a war, and then a revolution happening.
Yeah,
and then someone wins a war and a revolution happens.
Yeah, so
that's how this shit goes. So I mean, dude, like, I don't know. People were saying us storming the Capitol was like our Tea Party. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, if you want to blow up some Navy ships, that's really the only way. Like, I mean, that's like the ultimate protrusion was throwing that tea off of there.
The imports. The imports, yeah.
You know? Yep. I imagine there was a little scuffle. But, once again, bro, here we are talking about something we didn't live to see.
Yeah.
And we're choosing what history we think is right. and we're talking about how corrupt this government is.
And
then
look,
we're like,
look, bro.
You know, the Tea Party happened. You see the pictures.
Yeah. Well, like,
Who the fuck even
and-
says Tea Party happened?
well, this is
bro?
the thing. I never thought about. Well, there was
Prove
this one
me
guy
to
talking.
tell the hundred
There was this one guy talking. He was like, look, when you look at all the founding fathers, all of them were rich men who obviously just wanted more power.
White
So
man.
what did they decide to fuel? They were all rich. They decided to fuel a revolution to take over a whole country and make it for themselves.
Yeah.
So the country, everyone's like, oh, what were the founding fathers think about this? What about it? Well, for one, they were probably just a bunch of other greedy people who were like, look,
They were all.
we ain't fucking with
Bro,
this fucking.
They were all the
it
first
wasn't.
presidents.
It wasn't about a better life for you. It was about, hey, look, guys, we're over here with this land. We know how crazy that trip is. I watched and came over here on a fucking boat. I know how crazy that shit is. Like, we'll take this land over. And as soon as they start sending those explorers out, and then the French were in there, like, look how much land is here that we could fucking take. Come on,
People
like
are sheep, bro.
everyone
really
just-
it's a sheep mentality.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Like-
like, and there's no fact behind that. But I mean, it's just how
No, there is fact.
how we
There is
perceive
fact
things,
behind this, bro.
how we perceive things, how we think about people. It's like, come on,
The rich people know that you're sheep. They know that I'm a sheep. They know we're sheep, bro. They really do, and they have funny ways of doing things. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's weird how sometimes
Psychopathic,
it's like so
sociopath.
much little things that you just don't even notice that are tweaked, bro. But I don't know, like I said, I'm not a smart man, but I think about these things, bro. Like I was like think about this. Think about this, okay? You remember when you were growing up and you would sign up for shit, right?
Mhm.
You never got nothing. You never got anything for signing up for anything. Then all of a sudden you started getting like 10% off of something, right? And then it got to the point where you have things literally nowadays where I will pay you to sign up, right? You got things like Robinhood. You can invite someone, I'll give you a free stock,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Cash App, you invite someone $15, right? Because they know, bro, right? Okay, you sign up for that Cash App, you get that Cash App $15. They've got you as a customer. It only costs $15.
Yeah.
I could spend $15 million on ads and you could never be a customer.
Yeah.
But now I've got you. And then now it's like I paid for 15,000 people. I gave them $15 and they're all on Cash App now. They're using Cash App, bro. This is so I can go on and on with these companies, bro, and pick them apart. But this is how things like PayPal happened, bro.
Yeah.
PayPal synced up with eBay. And then PayPal made straight up, they're basically patenting things that they shouldn't be allowed to patent because they're first.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like that's what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Same thing.
If you talk to like PayPal CEO, that's literally what he said.
Same
He's
thing.
like, we know if you get people using this, then other people would use it.
Same thing with the guys behind Visa, MasterCard. They know that, there's for one, with money, they know there's a lot of money in functioning and being able to transport money. So like literally think about what Visa does. They're a company that just makes it easier for a company to take your money and put it in the company's pocket. Literally straight up. I make it easier to where you can tap your card and I can just transfer money to you.
Yeah.
This is what I do. This is my company. I make it easier for money to be transferred into your pocket, dog. Straight up. That's what that's all it is, And PayPal is a great platform. People use it for themselves.
I hate to go back to Louis C.K., bro, but it's funny you said that because he was literally that comedy sketch I was about. He said the same thing. He was like, I don't even think nobody goes into banks no more. He's like, I think that whole building is just because they need 2 feet of a wall to put that ATM machine in.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the only reason that's there anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody goes, you just come up here, this thing just gives you money.
Yeah.
That's why I love comedians. Like they can just bring up something so obvious,
Yeah,
and they're just like, this is so weird. Comedians just like, here's your money.
Comedians are just commentary on,
For life,
and the thing is funny. The reason it's funny is because of how true it could possibly be, or they're just willing to say something that other people are like, I wasn't gonna say that, but
bro, he said something. He said one shit on there that I was like, this is what I watched this shit for. Right? He was like talking about like seeing people and wanting to fuck them. It's a long bit, right? But like he's like, yeah, I seen this mom, and I was like, mom's hot. And I seen like there was like a kid's head behind the dumpster. He's like, I'm waiting for the family to come by. And he looks at everybody. He's like, because I want to fuck the kid. He's like, I want to see what the kid looks like so I can fuck the kid. Right? And everybody's like, oh. He's like, oh, that's messed up. He's like, okay, well, what if I was to come by like a dead kid and I fucked them? He's like, who am I hurting? He's like, I got off of fantasy. He's like, the kid's already gone. I didn't hurt him. You know what I mean? He's like, I fucked the kid and then I called the cops. And he's like thinking like, this is the worst shit that anybody could ever say.
Yeah.
You know? And then you think about it, it's like, well, who is he hurting?
Yeah.
Like, that's the sick part about it. He's like, yeah. I like at the end when he gets done saying it, he's like, I love saying things like that because it makes you uncomfortable. And then he does like this real evil laugh where you can tell he just has like this super dark side that where he cooks this shit at.
Yeah. Where he's whipping it up, he's just like eat that one.
You know? Like, keep doing that. There's a bunch of shit like that he was saying. He was like, I can't remember. I watched so many comedy specials lately. They're all mixed together. But one of them, it was like him or Norm Macdonald. They were saying, like, they were like, he was talking about masturbating when you're getting choked. He was like, I found out that people were doing that. And he's like, I had to find out, like, why would you do that? So he's like, I looked it up and the science says, like, your nut is 150 times better. And he was like, it didn't seem that good, you know? So he's like, I'll just stick to the regular 100%. It doesn't seem like worth it. Then he's like, the main reason I didn't want to do it because I'm afraid I'll die doing it. And then my son's got to find me, you know? And he's like, it would be really fucked up for him to find me with the belt around my neck. It's like, if I commit suicide, it's a gunshot. It's like, but like you come in, like your dad's got his dick out and he's hanging from a belt. It's like, now he's scarred.
Yeah.
Like, man, I just love that they will talk about like these points that just nobody will address. That's like when that Chris Rock thing first happened, I was like, man, you can't say that to a man. And then, like, afterwards, I was like, you know what? Like, this is just what these guys are doing. You cannot ask people to be this person and then get mad when they are.
Yeah, you can't love comedy and and also persecute someone for making a misstep. Yeah. Because, I mean, the thing is, I don't know it's not funny until I put it out there,
I was just saying it to someone. I was like, look, like, in any art, right? I usually do like a 90% rule. And you could probably honestly bring it down to 80%. Where I'm like, if you hit 90+%, bro, you are A-level art. Mm-hmm. If you give me 10 songs and I like 9 of them, and one of them I go, this is the worst shit I ever heard, you're A-level art. You're A-level talent. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? Like, but people will be like, that's what I was saying before. Like, I brought it up with the Drake album everybody was dissing. And like, they just completely understand what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying that you can't bash art. You hear a song. You can hear a song and go, that is the worst shit I ever heard. You can see a painting and go, I don't see it. Yeah. Right? But if you know the artist and you know at this point, somebody like Drake has put out 200 songs, bro. That means 50 of that songs could be horrible. The worst you ever heard. And this man is producing 75% of the time. He produces A-level art. Yep. You're going to bash him for the times that he is in that 25%?
Same thing with comedy.
And, bro, even when you're talking to like someone and you're trying to be like with a stranger or with a friend and you're trying to be funny, right? And like you can be like on a roll, bro. And then like you say that one thing that doesn't hit and everybody's like, you kind of suck the air out of the room.
So you think you're funny. I think I'm funny. We've all missed the mark on some jokes, but I mean, maybe they weren't offensive or maybe they just didn't hit.
Whatever it was. And you know right away it didn't hit, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, lately I've just been like, look, I was trying to be funny.
Look, it
wasn't funny.
I remember we were next party, you said it before. You were like, this is the risk you take when you're a funny guy, when you're a funny person and you make jokes about everything. Some of them aren't gonna hit. It just, if you're gonna sit there and make little jokes and crack jokes and you think you make people laugh,
and people like when you're that person. People like that you're funny. Uh-huh. People like that you talk, that you got something to say. But as soon as you're not funny, as soon as you're saying something they don't want to hear,
that one hit.
Now all of a sudden it's like he talks too much, man. You got to talk too much. If I start saying like we're in a prison, and we're in a prison, your food's poison.
And I've been on the other end of like someone trying to be funny and it wasn't funny.
Oh yeah.
And
but my thing is,
you sit there.
Dude, I swear, bro. Like, I know I'm overly nice. Like, I know it. At this point, I know I'm overly nice. But, like, for me, dude, I've never... Like, if you were not funny like that, I wouldn't disrespect you, but you would know. You would know, right? If you're with the boys. But, like, for the most part, when I'm around people besides, like, my close guy friends, even if they're not funny, bro, I'll still, like, just gloss over it. Or I'll laugh at it a little bit. Yeah, I'm never, like... that wasn't funny.
Yeah.
I'll never say that to somebody, bro. Like I just don't even want to be that person. You know?
And there's been a couple times where I've said something and like I heard people give me like one of those like like they felt the silence and like that's where you get your recovery. Like, I don't want to hear no fake ass laugh. Well, funny, let me sit in it. You know, it's like, and then they usually laugh at that. You know,
you can find
like and you just go right over. You know, it's like
you know, hey,
this is the risk you take when you and like I won't sit here and say I'm the funniest, I'm the smartest, but like. I know I try to crack jokes. I know I try and get some laughs out of people. I know I try that. I know I crack jokes with people. I try that all the time. You're going to miss on a couple.
They love when you're in that 90.
Yeah.
They hate you when you're in that 10.
Exactly. No, it's like, I mean, we sit here like, sometimes I even feel like I'm doing a bit for somebody. Like where I'm just like it just the way it lines up. And I just come to, I don't know what that was. I'm just talking. I just joke. I just kid. Like you just do it naturally throughout your everyday life. I'm just a fun person. I don't know. You just talk to people. You make jokes. You make people laugh. Like I can't even say I try. I just do it. You just joke around with people. You mess with people. You have fun. You feel other people's energy. You know, we get it together. It's like you feel me a little bit. We go back and forth, and then you guys are geeky. You guys are having a fun time.
It's like always like, what have you done for me lately? Like that's really what it is, right? Because like you could be funny, and you could have had like the whole room rolling for 30 minutes. But those last 10 minutes, you just couldn't find it. You weren't that funny.
That guy.
And here comes this guy that's not even funny, but he's got one joke. And these people ain't laughed in a while.
See, that's what was like super funny with this guy Conrad. Like I don't think like he like I don't know. You just talk to him like he's funny, but he's not trying to be funny. He's just kind of like doing him. He's just making a joke the same way. And not everyone finds him the funny the way I do. You know, which is why I like the guy so much. So like I remember like one day like something happened. And I was just like one of the girls like said something. And I was like, oh God, Jen pulled a fucking cringe, dude. Like, and then Conrad wrote like a card. It was just like wrote a card there and it was like, you made a cringe, you lose 1 subscriber or some shit. I just thought it was so funny. You lose subscriber, man. That's what it is. When you cringe, you make someone like you don't hit with that joke. It's like lose subscriber, like you know, unsubscribed. Like close the fucking computer window. I just done. Like I don't.
That's funny. That's funny.
I thought it was fucking hilarious. that's the thing. Like some people are just funny to you, or some people you get each other's sense of humor and you guys can have fun like that. Like. I feel like I had that relationship with like Tucker. Like I feel like me and his humor just like really jives with one another, and we're just you just have a good time off that. Just the humor alone, you can just geek and feed, and you give me something that takes it, give it something back. And
I like when someone shows you that they like evil jokes. Like you can get evil on the comedy.
Get some dark,
like, oh, you too like those dark spots of comedy. So now you can take it to like the next level. And now you have like the freedom to really be funny because you gotta be careful when you're around new people. You can't just make any joke.
Yeah. You gotta be super careful. I mean,
especially if people don't know you, they don't know like how you talk or something like that.
People feel you out a little bit, and you kind of like take those steps deeper and deeper into that zone.
It's also weird, like when you're like you tell someone you're like, oh, I said that condescending. But what the fuck does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you'll be like, oh yeah. Keep going back to Louis C.K., man, but it was so funny. But he was saying something similar.
Comedians have good commentary.
Yeah, he was like, man, he was like, I learned how to say the truth to anyone you want. Or it's Norm Macdonald. It was Norm Macdonald. He's like, I learned how to say the truth anything you want. He's like, you just say it sarcastically. And they always think you're just making fun of it.
Yeah.
He's like, my wife was like, hey, I seen you looking at my sister. Really funny. What do you want to sleep with her or something? He's like, I do want to fuck your sister. That's the whole reason I got with you. But the way you say it, he's like, oh, I was being sarcastic or condescending. Well, what does that even imply, right? What it implies is that you threw something on your voice.
Yeah, you just said it in that way. You said it in that sarcastic.
You threw a little twist.
There's a little spin. There's a little spin on it.
And you're hoping.
I didn't straight shoot you with a fastball. I put a slider in the dirt.
When you like get exactly. And when you give somebody like you can tell who does. You give somebody sarcasm and then they reply with sarcasm. That's when you know you're okay. But then you give somebody sarcasm and they're like, "But it was like this," You're like, "I knew it was like that." That was a sarcastic joke. You didn't notice that I put it on like this, You didn't notice that I threw this on my voice when I said those things.
Yeah. That's why I like
let's shoot up the whole place.
That's why I like when like you say some like sarcastic shit, but you doing kind of like a normal Stone Cold delivery, and someone's like, I don't know if you're being for real or not. And you're just like, So then you did,
Yeah, I am.
yeah, eat it up. Yeah.
Of course I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a psycho.
So you still got it. You still got it. No, I don't. No, I really feel that way. No, it's like,
I'm a
and then
psycho.
you let them sit in a little bit. They're just like,
it's like that.
fucking
Thing,
with you, dude. Fucking
it's
with
like that thing we was talking about when you were like earlier.
You
I
had
gotta
me.
see it for myself.
You had me.
I had a moment like that to work today when I was like, somebody's like, you see that ladder in that room? I like look in the room real quick. He's like right here. I like look in the room real quick. I'm like, nah, it's not in here. I come out. He's like, you sure? And he double checks. I'm like, what do you think? I'm some psycho? I let this lie. You know what I mean? About it not being in there.
Yeah.
You know, really, what he
And then he
means.
comes to check himself.
Well, like he could be like, well, here's the thing. If he was like, let me double check, I'd be like, okay, right? If somebody said that, but instead he's like, are you sure? Like that's commonly what people say. Like, yeah, sure. I thought it was in here. It's like,
Yeah, I hate that because I'll turn around and be like, do you see what I don't like? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, is it there or not?
Well,
Like,
I had a moment with a guy I work with. We were like tying his glass to the truck the other day. He does it one way. He's like, what do you think about this? I'm like, that'll work. I'm like, that's good. He takes it off. He ties it a second way. He's like, what do you think about this? I'm like, that looks good. I think that's probably a little better. That even looks better than another way. Like, that'll work. He takes it off and he does it a third way. And he's like, what do you think about this? I was like, what's it matter what I think about this? I've told you.
You tied it.
Like, you keep at, but I've already told you they were good.
Yeah.
At this point, I've already confirmed they were good before.
Yeah.
And you didn't care.
Yeah.
So why are you asking me again?
Uh-huh.
So I almost like on purpose, I wanted to be like, that was the worst way of all three. Because like what? It's like a smack in the face almost.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? That's how I did it. That's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it how I want to do it. But what do you think?
Yeah,
I think it's good.
it's like, yeah, you just want someone to say it's good for a quick second,
What?
Yeah, I think this is good.
I don't know what that was, but it was weird.
Yeah, multiple times like that. I don't know.
I was like, why you keep coming back?
Yeah.
Like if you told me like, you're breaking up with your girl, it's like the same thing. Okay, well, I already told you twice you should break up with her. You didn't break up with her. Here you are telling me the third bad thing she did. At this point, it's like, man, you're venting. You know my feelings. My feelings have not changed to the subject.
Yeah, and
she's a whore.
I mean, like, with that, the seeing is believing. You just don't. You just quit. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like some people, like, you just sit there. You're just like, me personally, it's like you come over. It's like, yeah, there's a girl now. Well, you call the cops. I gotta go over and be like, there's a human in this well. Like, there is a human in this well.
Yeah. It's hard not to.
But like, I do it so minuscule shit. Or like, I'm like, Bray would say something's wrong with the car, and I'm just like, I'll check it out. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And I get in there, I'm just like, that wiper does seem loose, like you were saying. Like, it's like, I don't know, maybe this chicken is a little raw. Like, it's just every single little thing.
Yeah, but like not pain.
The connector's in right. Let me see.
Not pain though, right?
You did say the connection was in
like
right.
If somebody smashed their hand and was like, that hurt so bad. You don't need to double check it.
Yeah, no.
Right?
No.
You're like,
I'll take your word for that
one.
Oh,
I know that. I know that.
I'll take your word for that one.
You seen it? Yeah. I watched you. But like, you can just not even be in there. You could not even be in the room, right? Somebody could be like, yeah, I slammed my hand and it hurt. You'd be like, yeah. I don't need to compare.
Some people, like, you see them like take a spill or like they do something dumb.
I know that hurt.
And it's like, I'm okay. I'm just like, I don't think you are, because I know. I know. You no need to be macho, dog. Shed a tear if you need to, because that looked terrible. Like, absolutely terrible.
We just sit here for a second.
I remember it was back in the day. I remember like we were all kids. We were at my house. I remember we like shoved Tyler. We were playing with him. We were shoved him in my closet, and then we closed it. And like he immediately started screaming. He's like, he's like screaming, blood curdling screams. And we opened it. And for a second, we paused. We're just like, oh man, like he must be scared of the dark or something, or claustrophobic. And then we opened it because he started screaming. My hands in the door. So we opened it. His thumb was completely closed in the door. The door shut completely. How was his thumb in there? Like I don't even understand. Like
pushed it and then slammed the door.
It was closed, and his thumb wasn't in. I was gonna close. He started screaming with my hands in the door. We opened it.
I see that. Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, I know that hurt. I now see why you were screaming. It makes total sense why you were screaming now, bro.
Yeah, it's like you may even have a preconceived notion of why that like something might be, and then you just gotta check it and be like, oh shit.
Well, I mean, you weigh it. Like, there's just certain things your way, like say you're in the middle of a So you're in the woods and like your friend comes over the hill and he's like, bro, other side of that hill is a pack of wolves. Right? Like you're like, even if it was a stranger, you should check it. You should check if there's wolves over there, but you don't. You don't. You just assume there's wolves over there because you ain't gonna fuck with something like that.
So you won't fuck around to find out.
You wait. You also wait things where it's like, okay, I even believe you. I kind of don't believe you. I kind of do believe you, but I'm gonna take your word for this because I'm not gonna try that.
Yeah.
But there's like you checking that window thing. Like there's nothing to check.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember.
But if I told you, hey, on the 80th floor up there, you left something, you just believe me. It's so far. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah, and I mean sometimes
if I told you what Germany looked like, you just gotta believe me.
And sometimes you have trouble making a decision in your own head whether to warn other people or tell other people or what, to really gauge how real this threat is or whatever is from there. So some people are on the side of caution, some people are a little more riskier, and they're just like, I want to be sure before I tell Scream these wolves are here. That could be a fucking links in the woods. It could be a fox out there,
If it's like a real slippery spot or something, you might be outside walking, you see a real slippery spot, and you see a person behind you, and you're like, oh, be careful right there. It's like a little slippery or something. But sometimes you don't tell them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just go, and you're
you're able to gauge. I didn't think that was an obstacle for me, so the next guy should be fine.
The next guy should be good, but you're hoping it's the next guy instead of the next old lady who goes down that little spot.
Yeah, so you're
in your own
assumptions.
I don't know what we're saying here, but there's a lot of assumptions.
Well, it's you're trying to determine, whether to pass that on and really tell someone that there's this threat over there. It's you wait in on what you believe. That's all you have is what you think is causal. So some people, like I said, it would just be more risky and just we'll wait till those eyes come from that tree line, so I know that's a wolf, and then. Like you said, you don't want to be silly. You tell someone something's there, and it's the boy who cried wolf scenario. There's a reason that's a popular story. It's so simple, it's so to the point, but has so much meaning behind it. As if you're it's just your willingness to believe in people, and then once they're wrong a couple of times, but then even if you're right, I just won't believe you.
I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to get up and check anymore.
Yeah. I don't
worry about if it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like North Korea's missiles.
Yeah.
We're just done, right? Nobody wants to hear about it anymore. It's shoot a nuke or don't. We're done with this shit, bro. We're done hearing about the test. We've heard it 30 times.
And that's the thing with the news cycle. Once you hear about mass shootings or death, so many goddamn times, just you're sitting there and really the crazy thing is that this is all still going on, and all these different places in the world are going through some real stuff. But we are just so desensitized. We do not give a single shit. We'll watch another mass shooting in Thailand or here or anywhere, and it'll just be yeah, it happens, I guess. It happens, I guess. I mean, here in America, we're still trying to debate what could be a good solution for that. But it's happens elsewhere, and you're well, it happens so much here in America. I can understand why it happens other places, I was
thinking the other day about how much 9/11 changed America.
Yeah.
Just the whole aspect of
shock,
things, bro, right? Even outside of laws or anything like that. Just the people. It's it definitely just changed it. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
At least this area, it just did something, man. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I think
it was do you miss Blockbuster or do you miss living in a pre-9/11 era?
Yeah, and these mass traumatic events, I think, have a huge change on how we teach people and the next generation and how we perceive things in the world. America was mostly anti-war and didn't want to join. It wasn't until Pearl Harbor happened and motherfuckers were I'm going to go sign up now. I'm going to go join the military. I mean, there was a huge mass recruitment after 9/11 for people signing up, ready to go to war. It's just these traumatic events, they shock people so much. It's like you jump in cold water, you gasp for that breath. It shocks people so much. It's fun. I mean, we know trauma, and we know things cause rewiring of your brain. We know these things happen. Mm-hmm. So a mass event like 9/11 that's televised, people saw live another plane hit the tower.
You could have a son today. He could be 10 years old. A decade from now, he could still look up that video.
Yeah.
That video is it's kind of traumatizing when you see any level of brutality like that.
It's insane.
You know what I mean? Children seeing those fucking airplanes flying into it's kind of sick. It's so sick. We really did see that. You know what I mean?
I mean, not only that, but
we have media. Like, so it was able to be circulated.
As it happened, we were immediately dismissed from school when shit like that went down.
Yeah.
We left school and then fucking went home.
But
and
like,
I go home, there's the towers on TV.
Children, you know what I mean? Children like seeing that. Like, you could imagine like how someone in Hiroshima would explain after, you know, the news.
Bro, listen, I remember 9/11 coverage. I actually ended up, since it was a day off, like, I mean, I would just go outside, hang out with some of my friends, you know, Jason, JC, them, and I remember we're all talking about what happened, and like we're listening to the news, and like we as children, we're going around, we're like third grade, we're going around on the street, and we're looking in cars for car bombs because we heard that's what like they were using around the country at the time. Like there was speculation about more terrorist attacks that hit DC, and we're sitting there. Yeah, we hear the news. We're like, yeah, we're gonna go find some fucking. They said they're using car bombs. We're gonna see there's some bombs out here, dude. Like, you're a fucking kid. It's just so impressional.
It's not third grade though.
I was like second grade, bro. It was like 2001.
Third grade.
Yeah, it was like second grade, first grade, something like that. I believe I remember.
I was like 7, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We were young. Yeah,
it
was like first, second grade, something like that. 2001, something like that. And
I don't even remember the day. I don't remember.
I remember pretty vividly.
I just remember seeing videos. You know what I mean? And that's where we are.
Yeah, I remember walking in school. I'm just like, okay, we got out of class early, and my grandma's watching on TV. I looked at the TV and I see a tower's on fire. I'm just like, I don't even know what those buildings are.
So you were 6, looking for car bombs.
Yeah, I remember that very vividly.
It's weird, ain't it?
Yeah,
let's see. Fuck this up.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you think about? What do you think about the Alex Jones case?
He's forced to pay $1 billion to the families, dude.
Nobody's forced to pay $1
Well,
billion,
pretty much it's a court ruling. He's going to give money at some point.
It's just so like American.
It might come from somewhere, bro.
It was just so funny how you said that.
I mean, like the court's told him
number.
The court's told him like the $1 billion, like, straight up. Yeah,
I seen 46 million.
I saw that 46 what?
46 million.
Man, bro. So $1 billion, dude.
Absurd,
that's what I was saying. I'm just like, how is that possible?
How can he be ordered?
I was thinking, how is that fit? How is that possible to make like someone do? It's a court ruling. You got to do something about it. You don't just declare bankruptcy and that goes away. Like, I don't know how that works. But he'll never pay $1 billion ever in his whole lifetime. Like, how would
they don't find billionaires a billion?
It's just so absurd, bro. It was so absurd. It was the most crazy shit I've read. I was just like,
that might have been a joke, bro.
That was straight from CNN, bro. Like, that was straight from CNN.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's a fucking joke. No, it was a reputable news source, Mike. It was a reputable fucking news source, Mike. So get it together. I mean, I mean, I know what?
I thought it was 46 million though. But either way, so what do you?
That
think?
was the original figure. I mean, like,
do you think he should have to pay a fine?
Man, he has to pay something. Okay, because I mean, like, if there really is like nothing that you can base off his accusations, there's nothing. You know, that's what they're ruling. That there's nothing saying. There's nothing. What he's saying is completely false. You know, and so I believe you're spreading false stories that have no relevance, evidence, or anything behind it, and it goes through court and they determine. I mean, who knows? But if that was the real case, you were lying, and yeah, you gotta pay some shit. You gotta do something.
Okay, let me play the other side. You know? Let me play the other side because there's two things that come to my mind. Right, number one being, okay, well, if it was. I mean, this is all with, respect to the victims. This is just us talking. But
yes,
if it really was what Alex Jones is saying, then where are you talking about getting this info from? Where do you think you would get info that would confirm to you that the government hired fully blacked out militia mercenaries to shoot school children?
And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. If you're given, that's what I'm saying. I can't commentate on because again, I don't give faith in what they're saying or whatever happened. I don't take it. I take it with a grain of salt. So if he's spreading false, that's what I can only speak on like certainties of how I feel about it. So if he's really giving false information, okay, you cannot do that. You can't. Okay. You can't put this crazy shit.
Isn't it weird? Like I've never seen a video from that.
From Newtown.
Sandy Hook. Was that? I thought it was Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook's that's the town's Newtown where it happened.
Okay,
but Sandy Hook's the elementary school. Yeah.
I've never seen a video from that.
Yeah. No.
Right?
No.
So how would you know what I mean? Like, how would you be? I'm saying, let's say I'm playing Alex Jones' defense here.
That's what I'm saying.
How would you be any more informed to know? How do you know that anything is false that he said?
That's what I'm saying.
This is all based upon the government. That is the one that will be. You know what I mean? In this trial, And I be thinking them judges, bro. You know what them judges remind me of? NFL refs.
Yeah.
It's like they know they're on camera, so they got to be seen now. They got to interject and make sure they're seen and
they
said.
got to be in line with what backs them, was the Department of Justice.
Right.
So, like, if there could be a court justice that may disagree and may actually find something in him,
And now, why? Now here will be my second point. Why does he not get in trouble for the things he said about 9/11? Why does he not get in trouble for the things he said about Congress, for the things he said about Skull and Bones, for the things he said about multiple companies, multiple politicians?
Yeah.
He said all of this before, and now none of that ever got prosecuted.
I think so. I mean, this is where I think we can get into speculation and conspiracy. I don't know, because again, I don't know. I have no idea. That's why, like, if it's this way, that's why I always try to line things up. Like, okay, well, if it's this way, there's actually false, then you gotta do something. If it's actually true, I mean, like, then you gotta let him talk his shit. You gotta let him say what he has to say. If it's true, no matter how those families feel, like that's true that they did actually do some shit like that, then you gotta let them say it. So
you don't think that people should be able to say anything they want to say?
This is where it becomes tough, because when you start spreading like false information and start lying, that's where I think it gets super murky. I don't believe CNN can do that. I don't believe a single individual person can do that.
But then first the news stations do that, right? But a single person can't.
Yeah.
And then also you care because Alex Jones said it. But if I went out every Saturday onto the corner down Fells Point and yelled that was fake, nobody would care.
No, that's where, like, when you have a media company and like you're doing like
why are they suing him?
Yeah, and
that's has the money, bro.
Well, not only that, but I think
they ain't gonna get nothing from you.
I think it's also like a case like that, a team of people who wanted to either take down Alex Jones, or I think a case like that would be easy to garner public support.
Like I said, I was just playing Alex Jones' side there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I have to. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't believe.
Listen, if that is true, right? If that is true that they hired those militiamen to do that, I don't want someone to profit off exposing it either.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what
I mean? Exactly.
So he's making money off of doing that. I want that to be pro bono, basically.
Yeah.
So I've like I said, I've been doing my research, man. So I've actually seen like some of these families, man, and the way they talk and the way they act, and it just seems so genuine to me. Like, if they are crisis actors, as they say, bro, these crisis actors should be in Hollywood because they're great. That's what I would say. To me, it's a real thing, bro. Like, to me, kids really died that day regardless. And, I mean, Alex Jones says that too, but just about why and how. And it is weird that, like, certain ones you just get videos on right away. Right? Yeah. And then sometimes you never see that video, bro.
And that's the thing.
But they got documentaries on Columbine and where they released the entire video.
And this is the thing I say all the time. Like, this is why I can't fault people for going super conspiratorial and thinking down ways, because you have provided ways and we have seen lies. That's all on you. You are responsible as the government, as Alex Jones as that, to be responsible and to be honorable and to tell the truth. But when we catch you not doing it, well, the faith in the whole thing just falls through. CNN, I can't trust everything they say, so I take it with a grain of salt. Alex Jones, I mean, I feel like I can't trust whatever he says.
Here's Alex Jones, and he's like, "Hey, your own government crashed airplanes into the towers," and everybody's like, "Alex Jones." I mean, it's no more crazy than saying that school shooting was set up.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's where I can only speculate, as there were other groups that saw that because children were involved, because of the what was the word I'm looking for? The how large that thing was, how large that event was, how traumatic it was. Children, it was easy to garner the public support and to also sway it towards the other people. I mean, like, I don't think there's any defense. I think Alex Jones could probably even have video, and the plaintiffs could attack that and just discredit him. And people, even if there was real video proving him right, I feel like people could look past that and be like, that might be fake. I'm siding with the children. Children died that day. I'm siding with the children. I think it's easy to do that. And then all you need is some other people who don't like Alex Jones, then fund that group of lawyers, that group, to get that group together and organized to then do a lawsuit. to where they're
or like someone like CNN could fund the people to take out Alex Jones because he's competition to news,
exactly,
or whoever
yeah,
Alex Jones
yeah,
competition
whatever
is.
the case may
You
be.
don't
You
know how
know,
deep it goes.
the government could solo them out because they
Right.
don't like one individual being able to have that type of influence.
Right.
So they discredit them.
You never know.
They did, exactly.
And,
you know,
and there's been plenty that Alex Jones said that's been proven right.
and
It's not everything. Not everything he said was a lie. We know that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean,
But once again, it's like, man, it's the kids' part. It's really hard with the kids. And I mean, I don't fault the parents for suing them. I'd sue them too if you were saying shit like that.
and that's why, you know, that of all those groups you listed, this is probably one that why they attacked and went for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
that's just speculation. Like who
the
knows?
public perception,
Speculation.
Because you could go talk to a lot of people about 9/11, they'd be like, yeah, maybe it was fake. But
Yeah.
nobody wants to say that kid shooting was fake.
Yeah, 100%.
They put him on an island.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they really did. He was one that went out on his own platform and voiced it.
He was saying that about every shooting at that time. Remember, there was like a real run here, bro, of like 10 big mass shootings.
Mhm.
Where it's like every month there was a big mass shooting around like that Pulse nightclub time.
Yep.
It feels like there was like a year run of like every month. And it felt like he got to the point where like almost everyone that popped up, he said that about. Because he said that about the Pulse nightclub. He said that about Nicholas Cruz or whatever, the Parkville.
Yeah.
Right? He said that about a bunch of people that they were in like acid experiments and it's crazy because, bro, like Oswald that killed JFK.
Yeah.
He was in those experiments. That's proven. He was in acid.
I know that.
Yes,
That's insane.
Bro, there's a lot of weird. There's a reason. You got to get deep into that. There's a reason that's like a looked upon. It goes way deeper than just some crazy conspiracy, bro. There was some weird shit going on. You know, he had unlimited access too between Russia and America. It was something crazy. Like he flew back like X amount of times within those like a month span of before doing that shooting. The way he was able to get out of that area, the multiple angles.
And
there's a lot that goes into it.
And, you know, of all these things that, like, you know, we come up with or, you know, we say, I mean, like, all of it can easily be rationalized. And, again, because of you know, on the government's behalf, them lying, that trust is gone. I mean, like, really, I think anything could be possible. Anything could be possible. Anything could be true.
Right.
These things could hold weight, you know, and I mean, leaving it to the only person that's going to dig for that and try to figure that out are individuals or the government. And of course, the government's going to block off certain things that people are going to look at. They're just going to keep that away. You know, if they want to keep it away, they can keep it away and they can keep that under wraps. 9/11, they could have a whole, you know, doc. And until someone brave enough was to come forward and find that and put it out there, you're not going to get it. Like those Vietnam papers, like the Panama papers. Like it takes that one person to come say,
question like, is that a real person? You don't know how deep it goes, bro.
Don't know. You do not know.
You do not know.
Yeah, you don't. And that's why
like,
everything's like a grain of salt.
Think about like the most powerful agencies. Well, like at least in America, they don't even work together. They don't even coordinate or know what each other are doing. So like the CIA's involved in shit that the FBI's doing.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or
like
they could communicate with each other and really set some shit up and really said, yeah, who knows?
The CIA is not supposed to communicate. With
they talk about the FBI and the CIA being like its own entities separate from like the government. I mean, like who knows where those agencies could then run themselves?
Okay, so number one, us saying this, right? It pretty much proves that it really isn't freedom of speech. You can't say whatever you want.
No.
Right? Because you can't lie.
No. Yeah.
But that would technically be what freedom of speech is. You should have the freedom to lie too, if that's what that is, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a conspiracy that you 100% believe in.
Oh my god, 100%. Let's see, 100%. I don't think I have one that like I give. I mean, besides like you know like food, like you know food largely you know being
right. It's also like what's a conspiracy.
Yeah, because I mean like
a lot of shit's proven.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them that I believe a lot in, but I can't. Because I don't have access to it, that I put that 100% belief in it. But I mean, like talk about like food, you know, like how companies operate, how dirty companies are, corrupt politicians. I mean, like that's all 100% easy shit to say,
right?
You know,
or like even like bigger shit. Like one that comes to my mind right away is like, Afghanistan didn't have weapons of destruction.
Yeah,
Afghanistan. But America still says they did.
Yeah.
They never said that. Still to this day, they don't say that's true. That's false.
Afghanistan.
That's clearly one, right? You know, shit like that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, these things, there's not one that I really give like that's super great. I give like 100% to, but I mean, I definitely believe.
I give 100% to that one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but like that one also feels a little bit because I think most people believe we were in Iraq and Middle East for wrong reasons anyway.
Right, but America still says.
Yeah. Yep.
America's still on the Gulf of Tonkin.
Yeah.
And never submitted
no.
to.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, Bush never publicly came out and said anything about that shit.
I mean, I guess that would be another conspiracy that I kind of believe in. That I would say 90 plus is that Cheney was calling the shots over Bush.
Yeah, that's a good.
I would say that's
Condoleezza too.
Right?
Yeah, all those people wrapped up in like his whole cabinet, pretty much. Just looking completely fucking strange.
It's funny he shot someone. Skip over, but it's just funny to think about. He shot someone, and like it's just like whatever.
Who was it? Someone. It was Ronald Reagan's wife.
Is that who he shot?
No, Ronald Reagan's wife. I think no. Laura Bush. She ran over someone and killed
Laura
him.
Bush.
Yeah,
and left the scene.
Yep.
Left the scene, bro.
Yeah. And, you don't think it's hilarious? I remember it's years ago.
Did that too.
I'm watching Family League. I mean, not Family League. Family Guy, and like they're just talking and they're just like, what's crazy? And you look at the screen, they're like, Laura Bush killed someone, and Brian's like, Laura Bush killed someone. And they just like put good part. It's just like it is so weird. But it's like a funny show. You're like, but like that. I mean, like it's people get away with shit. They're allowed to do it. It's the power. Man. I mean, there's things diplomatic immunity where like if people go and travel, like there was that woman in she was an ambassador's wife from like Romania or some shit, and she was in Korea and she slapped the Korean like clerk or something. Did some crazy shit. Well, the ambassador and his wife both got kicked out of Korea and went back to the country, but you can't prosecute them. Right. They had to be dealt with by the country they come from. You can't just block them down. That goes against what like the international law says. You get diplomatic immunity when you travel. This person cannot break laws because they're not part of the state. Like, it's just the craziest thing.
I mean, as far as because he's an ambassador.
Just
Brittany Griner gets locked up.
Well, yeah, because she's not part of the government. She's not part of the government. She's like a U.S. citizen. That's about it. Yeah,
has to be government.
Yeah, it has to be government. That's where you get the diplomatic immunity. It has to be part of the government, and they protect their own. Like straight up, I'll bring them back here and deal with them.
I always read about the trades they do, bro, and that's like something.
Like criminal, prisoner trade and shit.
Like gets glossed right over, bro.
Yeah, they go.
Oh, we just did a fucking sketchy ass trade, dude, to get back a journalist.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
We gave a 25-year Guantanamo vet back to them, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that we couldn't prove guilty. Basically,
I mean that shit gets super murky, and I mean like again, people you're operating.
The funny thing about them people with the Capitol riot, people that are getting locked up, they're requesting to go to Guantanamo Bay.
I didn't see that. That's weird.
They're requesting to go to Guantanamo Bay because they say it's got better food. It's like a troll thing, I think, or something like that. Like
man.
I know.
That's
too much, right? It's too much. It's like, fuck the Capitol, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously, dude.
Fuck
those people. Fuck the Capitol. Like, why are we? That's not what we want to focus our lives on. But that's what makes so much attention. But like, meanwhile, me and you could have spent the last hour saying, "Fuck all the government and what they do, bro. Let's focus on the life we want to build."
Yeah, that's what makes it tough because we still exist within like a societal culture built by its own people,
and you're affected by these things.
Exactly, yeah. And your day-to-day life and people. I mean, like, yes, you find people that like can agree on things.
Now you can't bring drugs onto the airplane. No bombs and no drugs on the airplane. Back in the good old days, you could bring the biggest bombs.
Yeah.
You're going.
Yeah, like literally, the security was so lax. Security was so lax. People did not give a shit.
Now it's all tight.
Look, and
that's listen. I don't want to go too far before YouTube comes at us too. But that's Alex Jones's whole argument. Is that right there, bro? Is that for them to take away your rights? And they have to come up with these things.
And this is the thing, because like when you
going to give them away,
when you have them talk about like Newtown and we have them talk about other mass shooting, it's like, well, what would get people behind gun control or to disarm people?
Easiest way possible.
And the one thing that the founding fathers got right and that they say is that, you make sure that the people can take up arms to defend against themselves against an authoritarian government.
Tyrannical.
And it's like tyrannical, yeah. So it's like. That was the one thing that was like the saving grace. Like that's the one thing. Like when you see them put it in there, you're like,
I absolutely hate, right? When people are like, yeah, but what would your machine gun do to an airplane? There's two things I think about when somebody says that. Number one, I think about I still want the machine gun.
Yeah.
If there was anarchy, you had to fight my government. I want whatever weapon I can get, and I'll be happy to get it.
Not even that,
right?
like.
And then number two, I think about like, don't they ever like? Okay, if people are so sure, right, that they could lock us down in martial law, why aren't you questioning your current soldiers? Because in my mind, if they said we're going to inflict martial law on the country and I was a soldier, I would say, I'm not doing that. I'm going AWOL. I'm going home to my family who you're trying to lock up. You know what I mean? So who's the sick son of a bitch that's going to drop a missile from an airplane on me? You know what I mean?
But and like that's the thing. Like, you know, you just protect yourself because you can't rely on people to protect you. For one, I mean, it's not that crazy to think that any one country could not be able to enforce its borders or laws at any given time. Once you fall out of the sphere of influence, let's say something was to happen. Baltimore might be good because DC's right there. We got the capital. You might be okay. You might be in that area of influence. But let's say shit goes south. Well, they're gonna get around that capital, you know, and they're not gonna worry about fucking California, dude.
Right, I tell you right away. Imagine what it was like being in Afghanistan when they said, "Get out of Afghanistan."
Yeah, we're pulling exactly.
Before they pulled anybody out, they told the citizens. There was a report like 30 days before they even did that. They told them citizens, if you're an American citizen in Afghanistan or Iran, I believe
get out.
Get out.
Pull it out.
Get out.
Yep.
Imagine you're over there and you hear that, bro. You're like,
and then,
like, think about because you know, like when Russia announced that draft, you know, fucking people started extraditing
getting
that
the
country.
Fuck out of there. Yeah, they stopped flights.
Prices.
Yeah,
$2,200.
They had to stop them, bro. They had to stop flights, bro.
Literally, people were paying $2,200 to get a flight
bro,
out of there.
Yeah,
and these are supposed to be people that already fought before, that already had done this shit. You know, but according to what I read, is apparently they didn't give a fuck about that. Like that's what Putin said, but they did not give a fuck.
No, they started drafting. They started drafting everybody, bro.
Everybody,
exactly. You know, I mean, it's just
300,000 troops, bro. I ain't going. I told you before, like if they did a draft right now, I'm not going. I'm not going nowhere, homie.
Yeah,
100%. Listen, bro. This is how fucked up I am, bro. You could tell me Schwartz is going down, and I'm not going. That's how I feel, bro. Honestly, that's 100% truth. I'm not going. Mm-hmm. You're not sending me over there. I'm not letting. If I was to go over there, I'll figure out my own logistics.
Well, okay? and that's
like
why
a mercenary. You know, I'd better be a mercenary than like a part of this. Where you imagine you got to storm D-Day, bro.
That's what
they send you in those boats.
So
some old white man hypes you up.
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy of Pearl Harbor. I mean, like, you know, who knows what happened? You know, people could say that it was set up, that it was a World War II, whatever the case is. When the government saw a response behind Pearl Harbor, and then once the war's over, well, what do we do? What the most studied wars of all time are like World War I and II. You know, people are fascinated by it. People are World War I and II heads. Like they go crazy over it. They collect memorabilia, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they look back and they're like, look, you see what Pearl Harbor did for crewmen? And then Vietnam comes around. Well, we get to try our new trick. False flag attack.
And they work.
How it gets people going. It gets people ready to go. It gets people to mobilize.
That's the earliest we know of.
Yeah.
Who's to say the Boston Tea Party wasn't?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It could go as far as they want it to go.
And, you know, and
then, like, I mean.
You sway the public opinion. Like, They know, they study, they know how to mobilize people.
Looking back at it, like being in the world we are in now and looking back at that, you know, the smartest thing I think for the Japanese to do would have just been like, we didn't send no planes. That's what they should have said. They should have said, we didn't send no planes. And this is before we know everything we know, you know, about America. But like, knowing what you know now.
Well,
what if that happened and Japan was like, we did not do this. We would not put it past America to paint Japan flags on planes.
This is the thing. And also, you know how you would find out? Well, you would find out because the only thing you had in your room was a fucking big-ass radio. Next thing you know, just like breaking news. We have word out of Hawaii. There's been an attack on Pearl Harbor. The Japanese have attacked. And then everyone just sitting around listening to the radio. That's what I think is so crazy about phones. You know, like, with radios, like, and the technology we have today, like, the ability to reach individual people was insane. To reach people in the masses. So with the radio, it's like I was able to speak in our microphone. I was able to broadcast to all of America. the power. We knew the power that broadcasting had. That's why it became so big. That's why radio. It's like everyone's like, I miss the old radio. We knew how big a deal it was to reach people on this mass scale.
We were talking
and how powerful it could be.
These though, radio's another thing I think about, like how we're talking about with these. It's like, what is going on there? What do you mean you were on that frequency?
And the audio can play on that frequency.
But if you go too far, someone else's frequency tunes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you're listening to 105.7 The Fan, then you go to Virginia, you can't hear it.
Yeah.
And so it's like
it's actual radio wave, and you need towers to boost that across the signal across the way.
Yeah.
And then before that,
but like, it's so weird. We're just like, yeah, well, an antenna. That antenna on your car
crazy.
is what? Is catching audio waves in the air?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this is weird,
bro. The thing I cannot get my head around. It's just like when I was talking about big birds last week. When people were like, "Yeah, big birds, they fly." Okay, cool. I'm the only one scared of big birds apparently. But like wireless charging, dude, you can transmit the electricity. Like I just can touch it to then it just goes through. Like that doesn't have to be like a solid connection. There's a whole piece in between that and the battery, and the electrons can just pass through and charge this bitch, bro.
Have you ever seen a person touch like a record player and it plays something?
What do you mean, like?
You've never seen that?
No,
I know, it's crazy.
No.
Have you ever seen someone grab a light bulb and touch it to their skin and it light up?
I've seen people who've like completed the circuit, but like not like lit up themselves.
Both of those things are true. Both of those are there's no lie to that. You can look up videos.
Yeah, there's enough electricity. You just gotta have enough electricity,
like
electrical on you.
Yeah, the way you grab it, right?
Yeah.
That powers that light bulb, and that right there is infinite energy. That's literally what they describe as impossible, right? Is like the constant routine of that's unlimited energy.
Not necessarily, because you still need the input
need
of food and water.
Well, yeah.
Because your body, because I mean you can't, because you gotta have the.
That's the thing.
It's what the thing is, energy can't be created. You know what I'm saying? Like it just transferred in different forms. So
that's what's creating that energy, though, is that food and water. Like that is what's creating the energy. That's why you even have that electron, right?
Yeah, but like you just can't create energy out of something. It has to be harnessed from something. You know, it has to be harnessed and burned from something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like the energy. So it's not really infinite energy, because you still need that loop to go. You know. As long as you were alive. So the idea with like infinite energy is that you just can't make a machine that can then create its own energy. We have to have a flow of water to turn that turbine. You know, exactly. You know.
Right. Kinetic energy. Yeah. And like exactly. Yeah, that you're right. And then with the record player thing, like I watched a dude, bro. He put his nail on there and he played the news that was on the radio. Yeah, bro. Yeah, so it's like I watched and then I had to go and I watched a bunch of videos how I know it's real, because it's like a bunch of people couldn't believe it neither.
Yeah,
and like all these people were like touching it, and like it plays different sounds depending on what it is.
There were a couple cases, because it was really popular for people back then to get like metal fillings and metal in their teeth, or people's fillings being able to pick up on it and hear it inside their own fucking head.
Yeah,
the radio waves, bro.
Yep.
Yeah,
I could imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, the shit that we can just blast through the things that we do with technology and with devices. Yeah, I mean, the most, like, even the most basic things that we touch in daily life, like these plastic things that we make, that the way they're extracted from the ground and the way they're pulled from oil and like formed and shaped into these things, like, and it's the most basic process, and we're like, it's not even mind blowing anymore. But it's like, God, what the fuck?
100%. Like Bluetooth's not even mind blowing.
Like even this crazy, this ridiculous ashtray. I mean, a rolling tray.
It's like it's pressed. And like, just that easy.
Well, you had to pull that metal from somewhere and then make this metal, and then you had to make a process that then binds this image to the metal. I can't peel this.
So much is going on right there.
Yeah, and it's so mind blowing.
And you know what? Here's what blows my mind, bro. You know, I watch a lot of true crime.
Yeah.
This thing right here could send you to jail for the rest of your life. That's how they solve a lot of murder cases now, bro. Is the cell phone towers and what you ping off of.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's reputable in court. Even though it's under dispute right now, it's reputable in court, bro.
Yeah, and like you can even turn your GPS off. I can locate you because I know where the tower's pinged. So now I've been closed the whole area.
Right.
Now all I gotta do is find some footage there. I find some CCTV. I find something. I find that one piece of you. Just trace that any fucking where now, man.
I don't even got to. It's like I could just bring it up, and a lot of times people don't even dispute it once they bring that up, because they know they were in that area And instead of, but I've watched like it's actually under that. There's a lot of evidence, bro, that has put people away for the rest of their life. That is under like complete review in the court system. The cell phone towers is one. A lot of times they can only ping like outgoing calls and not incoming ones. So things like that affect it. But there's also like blood splatter evidence, touch DNA. A lot of things like this are under review.
Well, what happens every time? Every time, but like
put you away for the rest of your life.
Since you're always connected, especially nowadays, like every time you enter like a new cell phone tower area, like eventually your phone will stop talking to one and talk to another.
Right.
Like that's just it. I mean, like that's 100% like something you can definitely use. That's a real tool you can use. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real thing that you can definitely use and have that be like admissible in court.
Right. But here we are again, though, where like, bro, I was telling you before, I'll fight video evidence, dog. So I got no problem fighting that evidence because here we are with a machine. Okay, so now you're like, here's what I go back. I asked you before, like, what would you rather have? Same thing. So if I told you I can show you on his cell phone pinging that he was in this area, right? Or I can give you a 50-year-old lady who says that she's seen him in that area. Yeah. Which one do you want?
The witness. You want the eyewitness?
Yeah.
Eyewitness.
Do you? You think you want the eyewitness?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'll tell you there's video evidence. There's a video of this person doing it, but I also have a human that's seen them do it.
I take the video. Take the video. Take the video.
You want the video?
Seems believing. Look at this guy. I don't gotta say shit.
You know what? But we spent half this podcast talking about the things they can do to the video.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Right?
100%.
So that's what I'm saying.
And that's why like there's every.
So now you're gonna go by audio or pings.
And
you
this is the thing.
Personally can't explain why that pings off of that.
And
tower.
This is why I feel like I have to explain everything in like two dualities. Where I'm like, okay, if that's reliable, because I can't understand.
If that's
then boom, and then if it's not, well then I hope they figure that shit out because like. You don't. I mean, like you don't.
You can't prove it.
You can't prove it. You know you can probably spend years learning the science and then
send your son away for
proving it or disproving it. But like it's so much for any one person.
It's like we literally are believing this device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's weird.
And that's why like I really hate capitalism because it divides up the labor, it divides up the resources of people for people to look at things. Someone's looking at cell phone data and software programming, but like those two people aren't the same person. You know, same thing with like companies. Someone makes this metal plate. Well, I now build the machines that print this image on here. Like we magnify the most smallest gear of fucking capitalism. We separate it and make it into 10 different things. Like Apple doesn't produce their phone. It takes 10 other companies that they contract to produce their phone. Like,
right.
It's just this constant evolution.
Cook go get the credit.
It's just constant evolution of fucking pushing out and making this.
Here's my thing though. When it comes to court, right?
Yeah.
I always make this argument. I have a huge problem with expert witnesses, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Because you've never seen a defense hire an expert witness that didn't agree with the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And you never seen a prosecution hire an expert witness that didn't agree with the prosecution, right? Mm-hmm. So here's two experts. What did your expert say? Your expert said it pinged off of that tower? I've got an expert too. And he says it didn't ping off that tower.
He's making his money being an expert witness.
You know what the average is?
Like, come on.
The average is for a medical expert witness?
How much?
$400 an hour.
That's so crazy, bro.
$400 an hour, bro.
That is so crazy.
And mind you, like this is work that's not done on that stand. They're only on that stand for when they testify. They're billing you for hours they were in the office. Or at home going over the case.
Now their careers being witnesses and expert witnesses to then be like, hey, this corroborates with what we know about this type of evidence, which is bullshit to begin with.
And they're both, here's two experts going against what they're both saying, and they're both paid to say what they're saying, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on? And now we're going to give a man 25 years because of this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, my expert is saying the otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know. There's a lot of shit. Like, that's what I'm like. I just went over the OJ case, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with the OJ case, like clearly, bro, he got off because of how bad the prosecution was. He had great lawyers that made great points, and the prosecution made a multiple of steps that were wrong. Like, even like, there's just like certain things, like I had to learn all this, but you know, like the famous, like, it doesn't fit with OJ Simpson's glove. You're not supposed to do demonstrations in a courtroom unless you know the end result. So they never even tried like to make him fit that. Like that was the first time they ever did that. You never do that in court. So there's like a bunch of mistakes that this prosecution made. But I'm not even going to sit here and blame them for prosecuting the biggest fucking case that there probably ever existed. Meanwhile, he's allowed to give $100,000 to 6 different lawyers that can focus their entire fucking lives on this every single day. It's literally money inside that prosecutor will get paid the same. They're getting paid the same. This person's getting paid more if they prove him innocent. You know what I mean? Why is the same lawyer that got Casey Anthony off, right? Is Aaron Hernandez's lawyer? Because they know, right? Why Kardashians exist because their fucking daddy helped OJ get off. I mean, that's the truth, bro.
It's a very
it's simple as that.
Yeah,
that's what made them know.
That's the other thing. Like, because the defense attorneys are hired, they pretty much have an unlimited fund to do however research, however they need to do it, and get the shit that they need.
This person's like,
and the states,
you out.
The state's government, on the other side, the prosecutor is behind I mean, like, I've been in fucking Baltimore City courts. You know what I mean? That shit's underfunded as fuck. A Baltimore City prosecutor don't make shit. Works in a shitty fucking office. Doesn't give a fuck about what's going on.
Had to get a public defender, bro?
No.
Okay, so let me explain to you because I didn't
public
know
defender,
a public defender. Okay, let me explain to you because I didn't know this. 2 times. This is how it went down. No paperwork gets sent to you. Nothing, bro. You don't talk to this person before you go there.
No.
That's not your lawyer.
No.
I go there today.
Represent you in court.
I go there today. Not even, bro. You go up first. You go up by yourself first when they call you. You don't have a lawyer with you. People that have lawyers go up with their lawyer when they're called, but you go up by yourself. And they're like, do you have a lawyer? You're like, no. Would you like a lawyer? Yes. So now you go sit on the side. They put you on the side where all people with lawyers get their cases ran through while you're waiting for a guy to come downstairs. He comes upstairs. He's got a book. One time I had a lady, one time I had a guy come up to you. They're like, you're Michael Law? I'm a public defender. We just met, bro. I'm about to be called up for my trial conviction. I just met him 5 minutes before. I mean, thank God it's only for weed. You know, and like simple shit like that. I never had a big case, but like I met this person 5 minutes ago, bro. He sits me down on this thing. He's like, so what happened? I'm like, I got called some weed in the car. He's like, how much was it? Oh, it's like a gram. He's like, okay. That was it, bro. That was it. There was no type of relationship there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a joke, bro. It really is a joke, man. And meanwhile, like, these other people are allowed to just go buy the fanciest lawyer that knows the judge. That can buy the judge a steak dinner. There's nothing against that.
They own their fucking corporate building, motherfucker. Like, these guys.
They're in there every day.
Millions.
The judge knows who wins cases, and the jury knows who's a famous lawyer. Mm-hmm. It's all intertwined, bro.
And it's some fucking. It's absolute shit. I mean, like, at first everyone's like, I'm glad you put that clause there where everyone gets the right to a lawyer, but goddamn. Now we're to the point where, like, people were literally, it's the culture and people where you're like, you hit a public defender. Oh, so he went to jail. Yeah, he went to jail because he had a public defender. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
True.
That's literally that's how it goes.
Yes.
And people know their jokes, and towards like, oh, you might as well just plead guilty, brother. You got public defender. You gotta go guilty, bro. Like,
here's another funny thing about the court system, bro.
No chance.
And people say that's what they did because they knew they had no chance. Here's another funny thing, bro. You get locked up right now. You got a high bond. You start calling big boys, all the bail bondsmen. But there's states in America that have made bail bondsmen illegal because of its predator-type business tactics. Because you're coming to someone when they're at their time of need. They have no
need bail money.
You're taxing
you put crazy collateral up. Yeah.
But you could be in Baltimore right now and go get yourself a bail bondsman.
Everyone knows those fucking pink and yellow pens.
And the shirts.
Big boys bail bonds. Make commercials like
I'll bond you.
And it's literally just and straight up the whole time, governments don't care where you're getting that fucking money. It's going straight to them.
They let you put your mother's house up for collateral.
This is free money for them.
6 times this month. They let you put your mama's house up for collateral.
This is free money. We're like, well,
now Dog the Bounty Hunter got your mom's house.
It's free money for them to have. Like, people are like, okay, well, they got to fund the jails and the prison system somehow. Well, it's like, that's what taxes are for. And then they're going to bail bonds you. Like, bro, it's so crazy, dog.
The bail system, put taxes and everything aside, bro. The bail system makes no sense.
Straight for profit.
It makes no sense at all. To me, it's like the same. I know people won't like this, but it's like, to me, it's the same argument with a life sentence. I don't agree with neither one of them because they make no sense. What it really means is you found a gray area that you can't decide on. So now you play the 50. When it comes to a bail, right? You did a crime. It should be, I trust you enough. You've proven yourself a good enough citizen. You're allowed to go back. You're allowed to leave, come back for your trial. That's what it should be. Or you're a lifelong criminal. You have bad history.
Yeah.
We fear you might run.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to go.
It's like,
why would it ever be, if you got 20K, that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, how much?
And then the judge determines how much it is based off the crime.
Bro, like, you got 50K.
Or should deny it.
You can get out right now.
Deny it.
Right. And now here's my thing with the life sentence, right? So you're saying that these people no longer deserve to ever be in society again. But you're also saying that the prison rehabilitates people. So if we're putting them in somewhere for the rest of their life and they're not being rehabilitated, why do we have them in there?
Yeah.
Because as bad as it sounds, it should either be they have a time they can get out or they're put to death. Because that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying I can no longer put you in society, but you don't have the balls to say
kill. They're straight off them.
that someone should die.
Yeah, but they'll rot in jail.
Now, here's what's crazy, right? Is you see people that murder people and they'll be like death sentence. But they have a super hard time giving a child molester a death sentence. Let's see. Let's really look at it, bro. Most of these people are not on there because there's people that rape 4 people. They get 20 years. They don't get a death sentence. They don't kill these people. They have such a hard time saying who deserves to die and who not because it's all so shady. And they can't decide on these certain things. So instead, for average federal prisoner, $52K a year, average state prisoner, $82K a year, their pay for 25 plus. They got people in jail for 50 years.
Yeah.
They get $50,000 a year for 50 years.
Yeah.
What is going on, bro?
And we have, I mean, like the numbers don't lie. We have an absolute problem here.
And then they fucking the CEOs. Judges are getting kickbacks for sending teenagers to prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're building more juvenile detention centers. Thanks, Hogan. You know, I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm done with it all. I'm done with it all.
And
man.
like, you know, the thing is, like, this is what's the most frustrating part of it. You know, it's like I know some of these things aren't comparable, but we figure out the most craziest shit as humans. We've made combustion engines. We have fucking 400 passenger jets. We figured out rails that can go 300 miles per hour. You can get all over Europe in 15 fucking minutes. We have discovered and figured out the most craziest logistical shit you could think of. We can figure out comprehensive reforms in government and policy.
100%.
We know, like, we literally can do it. We figured out how to make microchips so small. We figured out how to make electric cars. We figured out how to make wireless tools. We figured out how to mass produce and create shit to where this mug only costs fucking, I can sell this for $2 at a profit.
Yeah, but see the thing is, though, we've got to that point because we went against all ethics.
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
When you didn't care how this cup got made.
No,
you only care that it's amazing this cup was made. But if they told you that, you know, they had to kill African children and they bought out a village and then they poisoned the soil,
we
got cups.
We can do so much insane shit.
You don't even notice. You know what I mean?
Just like we can take it super far with doing evil shit, we can take it super far doing the right thing. Or like we're pursuing justice so ruthlessly and so crazy. Like we're figuring out actual rehabilitation practices for humans.
Can we do it on this scale, though? That's really always the question.
That's the big question because we don't know. First of all, we don't know what that other side looks like because we do shit wrong so much.
More people in prison than every other developed nation put together.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Even though our population of the world only makes up something of like 3%, we have like 60% prisoners. It's like, what the fuck?
Spend the most on them.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, the problem.
We've said it all the day, man. It's time for some food.
A problem, man.
Everybody be safe. I love you.
Like,
don't get stents in your heart. Stay safe.
Don't go to jail. Go get a public defender. Keep your kids close.
Plead guilty.
Don't drink the water. Don't eat McDonald's. Don't eat the food. Jesus.
Yeah, we really want to have this go.
Like, share, subscribe. We appreciate y'all.
Y'all
have a good night.
Jeff Bezos. Bezos can suck my dick.